Genius is a flower of great rarity that grows in the most unlikely places. Recognition of genius is an accolade that usually becomes a posthumous award. Certainly, this is true of the man called simply O'Henry, master of the tale with a twist, and one of the greatest storytellers of all time. The O'Henry Playhouse, dramatizing some of the most diverting stories ever told.
The Magi, as we all know, were very wise men. They saw a star, and wiser than most of us, followed it. They found a babe and brought him rare, costly gifts. The Magi, in fact, invented Christmas presents. However, our story is not of 2,000 years ago, but now. Its hero is no resplendent Oriental king, but a very young, rather too thin, too intense part-time student. Its heroine is no queen, but a little typist, also very young, not very pretty, except for her wonderful hair, a soft Irish brogue, and the glow that comes from loving. Curious, then, that we and the great O'Henry call this story The Gift of the Magi.
Kathy, over here.
Oh, dear. I know I'm terrible. I had to work back tonight of all nights.
Well, that's all right. I've had plenty to think about.
Sure you did. But this was the one night in the week you don't have to lecture.
Hello, Kathy.
Hello, Jim.
Oh, let's sit here for a moment.
All right. Oh, I love this little park. Don't you think it's the sweetest place?
Mm-hmm.
What was yesterday like?
Same as always. The office, lecture at night, back to my room, study till 1. What about you?
Same as you. All day long at the office, back to my room. I washed my hair.
It looks glorious. Quite glorious.
You sure you wouldn't be thinking it's a bit old-fashioned, being so long and all?
I would not. It's beautiful. Everything about you is beautiful.
Why, thank you, darling.
And that's what bothers me. It doesn't work anymore.
What doesn't?
Us. Me. The way I lived before. Before that night I met you on the bus.
Why, Jim.
Clerking all day. Lectures and studies all night. It just doesn't work.
But you're not just a clerk. You're going to be a teacher. And until you get your degree, it's got to work.
But it doesn't. Not anymore. Don't you see? It doesn't make sense. You in your bed-sitter halfway across London, and me in mine, hardly ever seeing each other and never alone.
Yes, but...
Kathy, listen. We could find somewhere. Somewhere a little bigger than the places we've got now. Nothing would be changed if we got married, except that we'd be together. I could concentrate then. Because when I looked up from my books, you'd be there.
Oh, Jim, you make it sound so wonderful.
And you could go on working just until I'm through. It's only 2 more years. Kathy, we're all either of us has got.
I know, me sweet, sweet darling, but...
But what? Well, don't you want us to be together?
Don't I want to? It's all I want. Oh, the sweet wonder of it. I could look after you, make you eat properly. We could live on your salary and pay your fees and buy books with mine.
Only till I'm through my exams.
And if I managed awfully well, we could even save a little.
Well, sure. Why not? After all, we're both 21 and no one to consider but ourselves.
That's the truth of it. But I'm scared, Jim.
Scared? Why?
I'm scared for you, me darling. For you.
Look at it. Look at that awful backyard. And all those acres and acres of filthy chimneys.
If you look hard enough, they look like fairy castles.
You think?
Anyway, we'll only be here nights and weekends. Nights there'll be stars, and weekends you'll be sweating like mad, and I'll be cooking and cleaning and thinking what a beautiful, darling man I've married.
It won't be forever. Just for a couple of years.
Who cares? We'll be together, won't we?
You know something? This is the first time ever we've been actually alone. Even if that old harridan of a landlady does walk in any minute.
Oh, let her while she can. She won't be able to bother us after we're married.
She certainly will not. We're going to be able to shut that door, and no one will have the right to walk in here unless we say so.
All of which is going to make it home.
But it's all pretty terrible. You're sure it'll be okay, Kathy?
What a foolish question. Oh, I'll make new curtains to shut out the yard. I'll have everything shining. You won't know this room when I'm through with it, Jim.
Well, one thing, it's central. That helps with fares.
And it's cheap, me beautiful darling. Central and cheap.
Oh, Kathy. Kathy, I love you.
Another present. I'm beginning to feel like a princess.
It's 7 and 9pence worth.
It's 7 and 9pence out of our budget?
Who cares? There are times when budgets are made to be broken.
We've that gas bill to pay this week, me dear, improvident princeling.
Oh, Kathy. By the way, I picked up your present in Petticoat Lane. You better sterilize it before you use it.
What was wrong with me old hairbrush?
It was worn out.
And who's to blame me, I ask? The way you're forever making me brush me hair.
Because I like watching you brush your hair.
Do you truly?
You look like a goddess in a Renaissance painting when it flows down your back. All red and burnished gold. And anyway, I like bringing you presents. Even if it's only 2 bobs worth of flowers.
Oh, sure. And I like getting them. But you need things, me darling. Look at that tie.
Tie? What's wrong with it?
Just rotting away from old age. And that watch band isn't even safe.
Oh, I don't know.
But Jim, it isn't.
Oh, don't fuss. I'll get it repaired.
But you could lose your watch, and you so proud of it.
That's a very grand watch. Did you know it was my grandfather's watch?
Sure, I knew it was your grandfather's watch. And I know how you'd feel if you lost it.
Now, who's going to lose it? I'll have the band repaired, I promise. Oh, holy mackerel. Look at the time.
20 to 7. Quickly now, supper's nearly ready. You have your wash while I serve up.
Right. One of these days, you're going to walk out of that place for good and all. We'll get a real house with a real yard.
When you're a teacher, a grand teacher with 13 degrees and a mortarboard.
Look, just give me time. Well, this dump's where we start off, but it won't be the way we finish up.
And that's a promise. Oh, Jim, my darling Jim, whatever will we do now?
You should have told me right away. You should have told me weeks ago.
But I wasn't sure. Don't you see? Yes, I was. I was sure.
Oh, Kathy, why did you keep it a secret?
I couldn't bear to burden you any more just now. You working so hard. It's wearing yourself out.
Kathy, we never ever had secrets from each other. We mustn't start now.
Oh, my darling, I'm so sorry. I truly am.
Don't misunderstand me, darling. I'd be pleased if... Well, if...
Oh, I know. I'd be pleased, too, if we could afford it.
To think of it. Only one more term to the end of this year. And then only one more year to go.
Darling, don't fret. Don't worry your darling head. We'll still manage somehow. I can work for months more yet.
No, you can't rush and tear about all over the place. I won't allow it.
Hark at the man. Who'll be rushing and tearing for heaven's sake? What do I do but sit at a desk all day? Oh, look. We'll save like mad, Jim, as long as I can work.
You're the main thing, Kathy. You and the baby. You're the important things. I don't care if I have to be a clerk for the rest of my life.
Don't you dare talk like that. You're going to teach. Look, I'm not sick. This is what I was made for. I'm young and I'm strong, and I can work like a horse. Truly I can.
Kathy.
It's all right, me darling. I just got a little tired, so I thought I'd lie down for a while.
It's no good, you know. I talked to the doctor.
Oh, I'd forgotten the bread, and I ran down those stairs too fast and to the shop, and then back up the stairs too fast. I was tired, that's all.
The doctor says he won't be answerable for what happens unless you stop work.
Oh, don't say that. I can work for ages yet.
No, darling.
But I've got to.
You can't. And that's all there is to it.
What about your fees? And the bills? And all the things for the baby? And the food and the rent and clothes? And your fares and your lunches and your books? What about all those things?
We'll manage.
How?
Well, for one thing, I could take that promotion.
What are you saying? You never wanted the promotion. You'd have to stay on there.
Yes, but
And you'll be sucked into a job you hate. More responsibility, less time to study. You'll be sidetracked. You'll never do what you want. Then you'll never be a teacher. Never.
Now, hold on, Kathy. Calm down. You mustn't get excited. It's not allowed.
I knew it. By all the sweet saints, I knew it. I was right to be scared.
Now, darling, you've got to listen. Darling, I promise I won't take it. Are you listening, Kathy?
Yes, Jim. I'm listening.
We'll plug along just as we've been doing. We'll manage.
Promise?
Promise.
We'll economize.
Heaven knows how, but all right, we'll economize.
No more Friday night presents, not even flowers.
No more presents, not even flowers.
Well now, Kathy has been trying desperately to save some money for a Christmas gift. To buy something rare and fine and sterling and almost worthy of the honor of being owned by such a wonderful princeling as Jim.
6, 7, 8, 9. Oh dear, the shame of it.
Kathy has counted this sum twice already. This time it will come out just the same. 11 shillings and 10 pence. And most of it in pennies. Pennies saved 1 and 2 at a time by haggling with the grocer and the butcher and the greengrocer, until Kathy's cheeks burned with the silent imputation of parsimony that such close dealing implied. And the net result...
11 shillings and 10 pence. Oh, the awful, wicked shame of it. Yes, who is it?
It's Mrs. Tharrop, Mrs. Young. Reckon you know what I'm after.
Oh, just coming.
You did say come in.
Well, no, but it doesn't matter.
And how are you feeling, Mrs. Young?
Oh, quite well. Very well, in fact.
It's to be in March, I understand.
Yes, it's to be in March.
I ought to have my head read for letting you stay on, you know. I don't hold with babies, not in my lodgings.
Oh, it'll be a very quiet baby, Mrs. Tharrop.
That's what they all say.
Oh, but it will have to be because of Jim's work. There'll be no trouble, truly there won't. Here, 2 weeks' rent.
I must say you're prompt with the rent and always have been. More than I can say for some.
Why, Jim always pays his way.
Blessed if I know how. No more than a couple of kids yourselves and no one to fall back on as far as I can see.
We'll manage. 'Tis no problem at all to us.
Blessed if I know how. But maybe you will at that. Been brushing your hair.
Oh, dear. I forgot to pin it up.
Must say it's very nice hair. Awful long, though.
Jim's very proud of it. The darling boy.
Aye, very nice at that. Well, I can't hang about gossiping half the day. Christmas tomorrow.
Yes, that it is.
Must be turning soft in me old age, letting you stay on. Never bargain for no babies, Mrs. Young.
You're very good to us, Mrs. Thorpe.
Like I said, must be turning soft.
11 shillings and 10pence. Oh, Jim, me poor beautiful darling. What am I going to do?
Is there something you want?
I'm looking for Madame Sophronie.
You? Right.
Well, you advertise in your window hair goods of all kinds.
That is so. You want to buy?
Well, no, not exactly. The fact is, well, the truth is, I haven't made up my mind.
Take your time. I've got till closing time.
That isn't so very long, is it? If I decide, that is, Madame Sophronie, will you buy me hair?
Is what I am here for. I buy here.
It's awfully long. Would you believe it if I told you I can actually sit on it?
Take off your hat.
In all my life, it's never been cut. A long time ago, before she died, my mother said it was my only good feature, and without it I'd be plain, and I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm running on like this.
Please, take off your hat.
No, I'm sorry. I've changed my mind. I can't do it.
So? Very well. Good day, young lady.
But on the other hand, there's really no reason. You couldn't give me a price. I'm not committing myself, you understand, just getting a price.
Look, take off your hat, huh? I got things to do. Christmas tomorrow.
Yes. There.
Let down your hair.
Oh. There.
Nice color. Plenty long. 25 pounds.
25 pounds?
Take it or leave it, young lady.
Oh, I'll take it. Please, cut it off quickly, before I can think what my dear darling man will do when he sees what I've done.
Yes, madam. All right, madam. It will be delivered, madam. Yes, madam. What can I show you?
Oh, it's a present I'll be after. A very special present for a sweet darling man.
Your husband, madam?
Yes.
And how much had you in mind to spend on something special, madam?
25 pounds if I have to.
I see. Well, now, if you were to come round here a little way, there's a chair. You may like to sit down.
Oh, thank you. But we haven't much time, you know.
That's all right, madam. You leave it to me. I guarantee I'll find exactly what you want.
Thank you. I believe you will. You're very kind.
Now, let's see. Something for your husband to wear, perhaps?
To wear? Yes, I suppose it ought to be something to wear. His overcoat won't last another winter. That would be a sensible gift, wouldn't it?
Overcoats are on the 3rd, madam.
On the other hand... Oh, listen to me. I'm thinking aloud.
That's all right, madam. Perhaps we can think aloud together.
It isn't very easy, you see.
Yes?
We have to be sensible all the time, especially me. And next year, we'll have to be more sensible than ever.
Yes, I believe I understand. In fact, I can see that.
Oh, for years and years and years.
Well, it doesn't do to be too sensible. Not when you're young. Very aging, taking in steady doses. And this is Christmas. A very special time, Christmas.
The money's special, too.
Special?
It isn't budget, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that makes all the difference.
Oh, you do see that?
Of course. beyond a doubt.
You're really awfully kind. Is everyone so sweet in this shop?
Young lady, I'll tell you. Even if you don't spend a penny of that £25 in my department, it's been a tonic just to talk to you.
Really? I wonder why.
Now, was it a watch you had in mind?
Oh, no. Jim has a watch. A terribly grand watch it is. Solid gold. It belonged to his grandfather. It's the only really valuable thing we've got.
Perhaps some cufflinks, then. I can do you a beautiful line in cufflinks and plenty of change out of your £25, too.
Oh, no. You see, I really do know exactly what I want, or I shall when I see it. It's a watch band.
Oh, a watch band.
Solid gold it must be, to go with the watch.
Oh, that's special, all right.
It's not really an extravagance. That cheap band he's got could so easily break, and besides, it doesn't fit that beautiful watch. And what's more, this is the only chance we'll ever have to buy the right kind of band for it. And he's always wanted one. Always.
Sounds to me like the best possible reasons for buying that band while the iron's hot. Let's have a look now. Here we are. Do you like any of these?
Oh, may I see that one, please?
Very nice, that one. And well within our means, too. There we are. Solid gold and very plain. Nice taste, don't you think?
Oh, it looks like Jim. I don't mean plain, I mean, well, quiet and valuable.
And in good taste.
Oh, yes. Jim has simply a wonderful taste.
That's quite obvious, madam.
Oh, this is the one. This one's perfect. Isn't it a darling?
And so are you, if I may say so.
Oh, me poor feet. Jim, oh, please, don't let it make any difference to him. Please.
Kathy,
Hello, darling.
Your hair. Cut off your hair.
Yes. Oh, Jimmy, beautiful, wonderful, darling. Don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and I've sold it because you work so hard and you're so thin, and I never could give you a present, and I couldn't live through Christmas without giving you one.
Well, I can't believe it. You cut off your hair?
Cut it off and sold it. It's no use looking around for it because it isn't here. Jim, please, it won't matter. I'm me without me hair, aren't I?
It's gone?
Sold and gone too. Don't you see me, darling? It's Christmas Eve. Shall I put the chops on for your supper, Jim?
Kathy, put your hand in my overcoat pocket.
In your pocket?
There's a package. I meant to keep it till tomorrow.
Why, yes. It's here.
Oh, good. Open it up.
Open it up. Now?
Yes.
All right. Christmas wrapped. It must be a present.
A present.
Darling. Oh, my sweet, wonderful darling. The combs. You've bought me the combs. How did you know?
Oh, I've seen how you've eyed them whenever we passed the jewelers.
The combs. The truly genuine tortoiseshell combs with the jeweled rims. Oh, a princess I'll be in these, me love.
And just the shade of your hair.
Oh, the wonder of it. Do you know, I've even dreamt about them, but I never dreamt. Oh, Jim, me beautiful darling.
You see now why you had me going for a while at first. Your beautiful hair all gone.
Oh, who cares? My hair'll soon grow. My hair grows awfully fast. And then I'll be able to wear these beautiful, gorgeous combs.
Merry Christmas, darling.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you, my darling. Oh, I was forgetting. Look in the dressing table drawer. Go on, look. I meant to keep it till tomorrow. Your present.
The present you sold your hair for?
You guessed?
Yes. I guessed.
So, who cares? Not me. It's worth it. It's going to be the best present you ever had. Go on, open the drawer.
All right. Yeah. What? Oh, it's beautiful, darling. It's just beautiful.
Oh, but not quite as beautiful as me beautiful combs. Now, come on, me darling. Give me your watch. I want to see how the band looks on it. Something's funny.
I'll tell you what. Let's put our presents away till tomorrow now. When it's really Christmas.
James Young, what are you keeping from me? Jimmy?
All right. So I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs.
You what?
Here, give us a kiss.
Oh, Jimmy, be beautiful, darling.
The world of O'Henry was a fascinating forum in which the poor and the wealthy, the sad and the gay rubbed shoulders in the most diverting fashion. Each had a story to tell. This was one of them, brought to you in the O'Henry Playhouse. This was an Artransa production, dramatized by Kay Keaveny and produced by Jim Bradley.
Genius is a flower of great rarity that grows in the most unlikely places. Recognition of genius is an accolade that usually becomes a posthumous award. Certainly, this is true of the man called simply O'Henry, master of the tale with a twist and one of the greatest storytellers of all time. The O'Henry Playhouse, dramatizing some of the most diverting stories ever told.
Most of us have our moments of hankering for the peace of the wide open spaces. Peace, simplicity, communion with nature, away from it all. Like the West Texas cattle country, for instance. Some mighty ranch like Rancho Napolito, broad as a European kingdom, where old man McAllister rules as king and the spaces are wide as they come, and the stars look close enough to touch. This is native environment for the Rancho Napolito foreman, big tow-headed Webb Yeager. But Webb has his troubles just like the rest of us. Call it love trouble, boss trouble, or both.
Hey, Wally, something's come up. I'm putting you in charge of the drove.
Me?
Yeah, I gotta get back to the ranch.
Well, that's all of 60 miles, Webb.
Then I better get started.
Look, Webb, the boss wasn't fooling about filling you full of lead if you go near the ranch house.
Just keep pushing the beeves through, Wally. You're in charge. Hiya!
Hey, what's with Webb? What could come up way out here, Baldy?
Now, listen, young'un. You go take a look around, see? So, look for a sort of sign, like a cross inside a heart. Us old Napolito hands call it the gizzard and crossbones.
Where'll I look, Baldy?
Any place. On the backs of the herd, on the packs. Could be any place.
Cross and a heart, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, I got it. Could be a kind of a secret sign Miss Stella wants to see Webb urgent.
How come you figure that out?
Well, I don't know, just figuring, I guess.
Well, stop figuring.
Look, I'm new here, Baldy, but everyone knows Mr. McAllister and Webb Yeager was thick as thieves until the boss finds out Webb's trying to get his rope over Miss Stella's head.
So?
Well, then, Mr. McAllister tells Webb to stay away from the ranch house or he'll shoot him full of holes in the colander. And Miss Stella's got to swear she won't write to Webb or call him up. Miss Stella's smart as she's pretty, Baldy. Maybe when she's just plain got to see Webb, she sends this sign, this cross and a heart.
Strikes me you're a pretty smart figurer for a young'un.
I won't say nothing, Baldy.
Now, see you remember that. Because if you open your trap, I'll make you look like a colander.
Oh, you bet, Baldy, you bet. Well, I'll go look for them hearts and crosses.
I'm not fooling, kid. No more than King McAllister was fooling.
You aiming to get yourself killed, Jaeger?
Nope. I'm just here to see Stella, King.
I've got to hand it to you, Jaeger. I had a bead drawn on you all the way to the corral.
Uh-huh. So where's Stella?
I guess I got a surprise for you. I was just starting a Mexican to fetch you back. To see you.
You mean something's wrong?
Come on in.
Where is she?
In a room. She's pretty sick, Webb.
Now, what's wrong with her?
Doctor threw around a whole lot of words I never heard of. Point is, she isn't fighting it. She's been asking for you.
In here?
Uh-huh.
Stella. It's me, Webb.
She's full of drugs. Doctor just left.
Honey, can you hear me? Honey.
That girl's all I've got. She isn't fighting.
Stella, it's Webb. Webb?
Say, she's coming around. Keep talking.
Stella, please. You gotta talk to me, honey.
Webb? Oh. You saw it? The brand?
You make it tough, honey. I nearly missed it. On the bags of potatoes and onions.
Oh. Oh, they go together.
In a stew.
No. No, I meant hearts and crosses. Love and trouble.
Let her sleep. She'll be okay now. Come outside, Jaeger.
No, it'll be better if I stay with her.
I said come outside.
Okay. You're the boss. Okay, King. This where you start shooting.
Pumping lead into the best ramrod in West Texas don't seem good business to me right now.
King, I'm going to marry Stella.
Yeah? Tell you something, boy. I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. I worked like a bullock to make Rancho Napolito what it is.
It isn't your ranch I want.
That girl, she's a McAllister, slim and pretty like her mother was, but McAllister. I wanted another king for her. But it seems like she settled for Webb Jaeger. Well, okay. She's McAllister. Maybe I should have trusted her judgment.
You mean that?
I got news for you, Webb. I got maybe a year to go.
How do you mean?
Heart trouble. This old pump of mine is on the way out. Now, this is between ourselves, you understand?
Sure. Well, I didn't know, King. I'm sorry.
I'll make a deal with you, Webb. You get that girl well, get her back on those pretty feet of hers, and your troubles are over.
You can bet on it.
Your troubles are over. That's what old man McAllister said. And a king's word is his bond. So, in the fullness of time, big tow-headed Webb Jaeger married Miss Stella and moved into the big ranch house. And old man McAllister slipped quietly out of life one summer night when the stars were low enough to touch. And then, a little more time passed.
Like I said, Webb, the trouble with you is you...
It's your deal, Baldy.
Eh? Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
I guess we'll make this the last hand. Time I was getting back to the ranch house.
Like I said, Webb, if I was you, I'd be a king.
Yeah, so you said, Baldy.
You know something? When a man marries a queen, he ought to grade up with her, see? On the hoof. Dressed, dried, corn.
Deal the cards.
Uh-huh. You know what you are, Webb? You are a prince consort.
Now, take
yeah,
it easy,
well, them is
friend.
the title, see? Up among the picture cards, but it don't take no tricks. Well, say you and me marries in a royal family, see? Well, by and by, our wife gets to be a queen. And we're king? Not in a million years. Now, them coronation ceremonies, we march between Little Casino and the 9th Grand Custodian and the Royal Hall bedchamber. You, Webb, or a prince consort. If I was you, I'd call for a new deal.
Guess we'll skip this last hand.
Hey, don't
It's
get me
pretty
wrong.
late.
Don't get me wrong, Webb. I ain't reflecting none on Miss Stella. Miss Stella, she's the finest little lady I ever did see.
And don't you forget that.
And she sure is smart at running the business, just like old man McAllister did. Only you see...
Only I'm boss of the cattle, same as I always was.
Yeah, sure, Webb, sure. Only you...
Only I don't have the authority to sell a beef steer to a starving cowpoke. I know. Night, Baldy.
Good night.
More coffee. Oh, it's going to work, isn't it, Webb?
No thanks. No more coffee.
Seems like every breeder for 1,000 miles round has laughed at us for years. Well, we'll have the last laugh yet.
This year's calves will show it one way or the other.
And next year, all the ranchers will lie down on their knees begging for our Sussex breeder. Anything wrong, darling?
Oh, no, nothing wrong, honey.
You were awfully restless last night.
I'm sorry.
Webb.
I reckon I better get moving. A lot of beeves near the Hondo waterhole ought to be moved away from the timber.
Webb, are you sure? Yes? What is it, Tom?
Got them beeves ready to go to town. Where'd you want them to go? To Barber's, like always?
Of course.
All right, ma'am.
Tom, I want you to drive that bunch to Nesbitt's.
What?
I already had a word with Nesbitt about them.
But Barbara's handled every head of stock from the Nopalito in the market for 5 years or more.
Sorry. But I want that herd to go to Nesbitt.
Tom, get started. Tell Barbara we'll have another lot of cows ready in about a month.
Well, are you sure, ma'am?
Am I what?
Well,
You heard the boss, Tom. Get going.
yes, sir.
I don't understand you, Webb. This is just plain foolish.
Court fool, Your Majesty. What else can you expect?
Expect?
I like to think I was a man before I married a cattle queen. Not what I am now, the laughingstock of the camp.
Webb, do I ever interfere in your management of the cattle? It just happens I know the business side better than you do. I learned it from Dad. What's wrong with that?
You're a McAllister, all right.
Oh, please, darling, be reasonable.
Oh, sure. We'll split it down the center. I punch the cattle and you wear the crown. It's your ranch, and Barbara gets the cattle.
Webb! Well, Webb, where are you going?
I'm leaving.
Leaving?
I'd rather be a plain ramrod boss of a cow calf than an 8 spot and a queen high flush. So long, Stella.
Webb Yeager rode to the southeast as straight as the rugged hills of West Texas permitted. And when he reached the horizon, he might have ridden on into blue space as far as knowledge of him on the Nopalito went. The prince consort had dropped out, an event which only rarely disorganizes a monarchy. The Queen Scylla appointed a major domo from among her father's faithful vassals and went on with the work of government. And what she thought and what she felt, only she knew.
Well, him's the last of the Sussex breed for the Double X outfit, Miss Stella.
Okay, Steve. They can be penned in the corral near the ranch house tonight, ready for delivery in the morning.
Uh-huh. Real blue bloods, ain't they?
Everything we could have hoped for and more. See you, Steve.
Yes, ma'am.
Morning, Miss Stella.
Morning, Baldy.
You feeling okay again, Miss Stella?
Feeling just fine now, thanks, Baldy.
Yeah.
Something on your mind, Baldy?
Well, ma'am,
Well, come on, out with it, Baldy. You ought to know I'm always ready to listen to anything the men have got to say, so long as it makes sense.
yeah, ma'am, Well, the fact is, out in the Frio yesterday, we met up with a stockman riding through from lower Rio Grande country.
Yes?
Yes, got to talking we did. And well, the fact is he's been punching cattle on the Rancho Seco in Hidalgo County.
So?
Oh, yeah. Said they got a new manager down there named Yeager. Tall, light-haired man, not giving much to saying much, and sounds like someone we might know, eh? Eh, ma'am?
Indeed it does. And I'd say Rancho Seco can count itself lucky. Webb's one of the best stockmen in the West. Morning, Baldy.
Morning, Miss Stella. Yeah.
Hey, Baldy. You tell her about Webb?
Yeah, I told her.
What'd she say?
Never batted an eyelid, not an eyelid.
Oh.
Well, she was crazy for him, you know, all them years. She was plumb crazy about him.
Yeah, and Webb was crazy for her, too, Baldy.
Shut my big, ugly mouth. Only wish I'd kept her shut that night.
Ah, well, maybe Webb was feeling things anyway.
Yeah, she sure was feeling something.
Guess women got their pride, too, huh, Baldy? Leastways thoroughbreds like Miss Stella.
Yeah. Well, maybe now, seeing how things are and seeing how she knows where he is, maybe they might get to meet up again, huh?
She'd only have to tell him.
You guys, give us a hand with these peeves, will ya?
Okay, let's get going, Baldy.
Yeah. Rancho Napolito.
Got a wire for Mrs. Yeager.
Mrs. Yeager speaking. Go ahead, exchange.
Okay. Here's a message. I am instructed...
Hold on a minute. That sounds like an order. I'll take it down. Yes, go ahead, please.
I am instructed by the owners of the Rancho Seco...
Is that S-E-C-O?
Uh-huh. S-E-C-O, Mrs. Yeager. Quote... to purchase 100 head of Sussex breed 2 or 3 year olds bred by you. Stop. Please notify urgently if you can fill order. Stop. Respectfully, Webster Yeager, manager, Rancho Seco. Got that, Mrs. Yeager?
Yes. Yes, thank you. I've got it.
Any reply, Mrs. Yeager?
Reply? Yes. To Webster Yeager, manager, Rancho Seco. 100 head, Sussex 2 and 3 year olds as order. Ready for delivery immediately. Signed, Stella Yeager, Rancho Napolito.
Is that all, Mrs. Yeager?
That's all.
Hiya! Hey, yeah! Hiya! Hey!
I guess that's a lot, Miss Stella. 100 head to make it.
Okay, stick 'em in the corral till morning.
Yeah, ma'am.
I'll be sending the Rancho Seco drovers down to the men's quarters for the night. They've already arrived. 3, Mexican vaqueros.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, ma'am.
They're, aiming to get the herd moving round about dawn.
Okay, ma'am.
That white beef. What a beauty, Baldy.
Yeah, never a mark on him. Except the Napolito brand.
Pure white. A real beauty. Keep an eye on them, Baldy. I've already received Rancho Seco's check and payment.
Well, looks like that's that then, Miss Stella.
Yes. Very businesslike, Rancho Seco.
Round about dawn it'll be, Miss Stella.
Baldy. Hey, Baldy, wake up.
I'm getting lost, will you?
Baldy, it's me, Steve.
Well, you. Didn't I tell you to sleep by the corral?
Shh. Don't wake the others.
Miss Stella's orders. You was to watch that Rancho Seco herd.
Miss Stella will send me away, Baldy. Look, can you come outside a minute?
What, now? In the middle of the night?
I can't talk here. I got to tell you something.
All right, then. But make it fast and make it good. Okay, young'un, let's have it. What's the matter?
Well, it's like this, see? I was asleep a couple hours back, when out comes Miss Stella and shakes me awake and tells me to get on back here for the rest of the night.
Couple of hours back?
That's right, Baldy. She's got on them dark jeans things and a dark kind of shirt.
You come turning me out of the sack to give me a description of Miss Stella's duds?
I didn't. Of course not.
Well, get to the point, will you? I'm freezing to death out here.
Well, she looked kind of white, Baldy, and I thought, something's doing. Well, she makes sure I'm going, then she heads back for the house. And I go, Baldy, only as soon as I get out of hearing distance of the house, I head back. She's in the blacksmith's shop, Baldy. She's got the forge going hot and strong. Never seen what she was up to, only it sure took a heck of a long time.
Yeah? I wonder what she's doing in there.
Don't know. But after a bit, she comes out. And next thing, she's back at the corral. I'm scared to come too close, see, but she takes something off her shoulder, a lasso. And she goes right in among them on her head. I think she'll start 'em stampede and she'll get herself killed.
Oh, holy cow.
So I creep a bit closer in case there's trouble. And then I see it's that white steer she's after. She swings a throw, only it catches one horn and slips off. So she throws again and gets it by the forefeet. She's making another cast with them cattle all milling around like crazy when something seems to warn her, and she looks right up, right at me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I tell you, I was sure she could see me, even where I was in all that shadow. So I backed slow and careful, and I kept on backing. Then I head off, and here I am. Well, that's all. I just had to tell you, Baldy.
The forge, huh? Now, what in heck would she be doing at the forge?
Come on in, Webb. Problems?
Yeah, kind of a problem, Mr. Quinn.
Yeah. Problems become a bit of a rarity around here since you've been managing the ranch for me. Whiskey?
No, thanks. Mr. Quinn, I'm sorry about this, but something's come up.
Okay. Go right ahead, Webb. What's the problem?
I'm leaving.
You're what?
I'm sorry, Mr. Quinn, but Wilson's ready to take over. The work won't miss a beat.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Webb. You can't...
Yeah, Wilson's a good man. He knows the ropes as well as I do.
Yeah, I know all that, but well, what is this? If you got any complaints, I'll make things right. Just say the word.
No complaints, Mr. Quinn. Just personal. I've got to go.
That's them, Mr. Quinn. Sussex breed from Rancho Napolito. Yes, Wilson. I've been meaning for days to come out and take a look at them. Kind of threw me, though. Webb Yeager taking off like that right after they got here. Well, yeah, sure was sudden, Mr. Quinn. Footloose. Drifters. Those guys, they're all the same. Hey. What's that Napolito Ranch brand, Wilson? X-Bar Y. Yeah, that's what I thought. So what's with that white steer there? It's wearing another brand. A heart with a cross inside it.
Oh, yeah, so it is. Never heard of no brand with a heart and cross in it.
Darling. Oh, what a pair of idiots we are.
Guess I ought to be hog-tied, Stella. Yes, sir, hog-tied.
Oh. Did you see it?
The white steer with your special brand? Sure, I saw it. But how...
I worked on that branding iron for hours, Webb.
The boys were right, honey. You're a queen.
There's no queen here. Not any longer. Just Stella Yeager. No, Mrs. Webb Yeager.
That's my gal.
But we sure do have a king.
A king?
Come and meet His Royal Highness. But wake him at your peril. He's got a right royal temper.
Hey, you mean that baby there? That two-bit? You trying to tell me...
That's him. That's your son.
Well... I'll be hog-tied.
You already are, darling, for life.
But when...
I knew soon after you left.
And all this time... What's his name?
What else should it be but Webb? Yes, Baldy, what is it?
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Tom's got them beads. Webb Yeager.
Hiya, Baldy.
Webb Yeager. Well, I'll be hog-tied.
That makes the three of us.
The world of O'Henry was a fascinating forum in which the poor and the wealthy, the sad and the gay rubbed shoulders in the most diverting fashion. Each had a story to tell. This was one of them, brought to you in the O'Henry Playhouse. This was an Artransa production, dramatized by Kay Keaveny and produced by Jim Bradley.
Genius is a flower of great rarity that grows in the most unlikely places. Recognition of genius is an accolade that usually becomes a posthumous award. Certainly, this is true of the man called simply O'Henry, master of the tale with a twist, and one of the greatest storytellers of all time. The O'Henry Playhouse, dramatizing some of the most diverting stories ever told.
This tale is called A Double-Dyed Deceiver, and it started on a summer evening at an inlet of the great Gulf of Mexico. Captain Boone of the schooner Flyaway stands near his skiff at the edge of the surf. It's dusk. A slim, wiry youth in high-heeled boots comes down to the water's edge. His face is boyish, but with a premature severity that hints at a man's experience. His complexion is naturally dark, burned by the sun to a coffee brown. His hair is black and straight as an Indian's. His eyes are a cold and steady blue, and he looks beyond Captain Boone at the Gulf with the impersonal and expressionless dignity of a Chinese emperor.
Thinking of buying that Gulf, lad?
Why, no, I reckon not. Fact is, I never saw it before. So I was just looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking of selling it, are you?
Not this trip. Now get moving, young'un. Best you forget seeing me or my ship.
I take you for a smuggler, Captain.
Now, see
which
here.
is why I came on out. I'm after a passage. Anywhere you're heading. And I can pay.
Well, I'll be keel-hauled and cast away. Mm-hmm. You on the lam, are you?
No questions asked, and none answered.
We don't rise to no cabins, you understand.
That's okay, I'll bunk with the crew. Like I said, I can pay, Captain.
You running from your maw, Sonny?
Like I said, no questions asked, none answered. Is it a deal?
Well...
Not that it makes much difference, but where'd you say we're heading?
Buenos Aires, coast of South America. I forget what they called the country last time I was there.
What kind of country is it? Hot or cold?
Warmish, lad, but a regular paradise lost. You're wakened every morning by the sweet singing of red birds with 7 purple tails. And there's no Sunday, and no ice, and no rent, and no troubles. It's a great country for a man to go to sleep with and wait for something to turn up.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll be putting you ashore any time now.
Mm-hmm.
The town, Buenos Aires, it's maybe 3 miles down the coast. After we put you ashore, you're on your own.
Okay with me, Captain.
Don't seem to bother you none? That out there is just jungle, you know.
So what?
Been a loner all your life, eh, kid?
I'll go get my kit ready, Captain.
And you don't speak the lingo?
You kidding? I'm from Texas. I speak Spanish better than English.
You don't say. Hey, know something? That's darn near the first thing you ever told me about yourself.
That was a mistake. I must be slipping.
You're safe with me, kid.
I know it, Captain. Fact is, you've been pretty decent to me.
Yeah. Must be turning soft. Look, go see Thacker in Tierras.
Who?
Thacker. Used to be a big shot till he hit the tequila. Still pretty much of a big shot as they go in Tierras. Pretty shady kind of customer, Thacker, between ourselves. Knows everyone who is everyone, though. Might be a bit of use to you.
I'll think about it. Thanks.
You, never did tell me your name, kid.
That's right, Captain. I never did.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this much. Back in Laredo, about a week ago, I killed a man.
Well, this is it. Good luck, kid.
Thanks, Captain.
Stick close to the shore now and keep moving.
So long.
So long, young'un.
The name's Dalton. Dan Dalton.
Good luck to you, Dan.
There was an argument over a poker game. I wasn't out for any trouble. When I killed him, I mean.
So?
He was a cowpuncher, same as me, in town to spend his roll. Came from the Carlitos outfit. Spanish.
Hair-trigger tempers, them Spanish.
Nice guy, though. In fact, I liked him.
Bet he pulled a knife on you.
He'd have killed me. It was his own knife that I...
Self-defense, yeah, it figures.
His friends wouldn't see it that way.
How about your friends, then?
I didn't have any.
So you took it on the lam.
Like I said, I wasn't out for any trouble, Captain.
Glad you told me, Dan.
Yeah. Well, so long.
On second thoughts, kid, better stay away from Thacker. Thacker's trouble.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Evening. The name's Thacker.
Yes, I've heard of you, Mr. Thacker.
So I'm flattered. Understand you just walked in out of the jungle, that right?
What gave you that idea?
You'd be surprised. You mind if I join you, Mr...
Yeah, help yourself.
Yeah. Thanks. Americans should stick together. I'd say you're from Texas, right?
You're doing the guessing, Mr. Thacker.
Ship's deserter?
Have I tried to stick my nose into your business?
Maybe I can fix things so the authorities here don't start looking into your business.
Why would you want to do that, Mr. Thacker?
You're young, but I guess you've been around. You speak Spanish?
Does it make any difference?
It might.
I'm not out for any trouble, Mr. Thacker.
You in any trouble, Texas?
Why, no. I'm just looking for work, that's all. Work's all I'm in the market for.
Not much doing in these parts, Texas.
I'll get by, somehow.
You'll need a work permit, Texas. No trouble there. Just so long as your passport's in order.
What's on your mind, Mr. Thacker?
Well, let's say I just want us to get a little bit better acquainted, Texas. Now, let's go back to my place and get started,
Okay, let's go.
So you speak Spanish, huh?
Not better than I do English. Just about everybody speaks it back on the ranges where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
What about it?
You won't change your mind about another drink.
No, now what is the deal, Mr. Thacker?
You got nerve. I like that. In fact, I'm gonna need it. You could pass for a Spaniard, too, and you're from Texas. You can't be more than 20 or 21.
What's the deal?
You take it or leave it, Texas. Either way, you keep your mouth shut, you understand?
You talk too much, Mr. Thacker.
Like I said, you got nerve. All right, now show me your left hand.
What?
Now, come on, show me the back of your left hand.
Are you crazy or something?
Let's see. Yeah, guess I can do it. Your flesh is as hard as wood and healthy as a baby's. It'd heal in a week.
Makes sense, Mr. Thacker.
I am. All the sense in the world. Now, how'd you like a real steak, Texas? Enough so nobody asks any more awkward questions. Enough to take you anywhere in the world you want to go and live right when you get there.
What's the catch?
No catch. You come and look out the window. Now, you see halfway up the mountain there, the big white house looking out to the sea?
So it's a big white house.
In that house, Texas, there's a fine old Castilian gentleman and his wife, yearning to take you in their arms and fill your pockets with money. Old Santos Urique lives there. He owns half the gold mines in the country.
Now, where do I come in, or you?
12 years ago, Texas, the Uriques lost a kid, their only kid. He was a wild little devil, even if he wasn't but 8 years old. Some Americans who were through here prospecting filled his mind with a lot of big stories about the States. A month after they left, the kid disappeared too.
And?
He was supposed to have stowed himself away on a fruit steamer and gone to New Orleans, but they never heard anything more of him.
Well?
Well, they've never given up. They're certain he'll come back someday.
So what's all this to me?
The Uriques are waiting for their kid, and I've been waiting for someone like you to drop in someday. I was so sure of you. I bought a set of needles and ink.
But now you've lost me again.
On the back of the boy's left hand, he had a tattoo. The Uriques family crest. A flying eagle with a spear in his claws.
A tattoo? I'm starting to get you, Mr. Thacker.
You're not slow. Well, I can do it. What was I consul of Sandakan for? I never knew till now. I can also study you up on the family history and anything else you want to know.
Yeah, well, I'll be shoving along now, Mr. Thacker.
Now, don't be in too much of a hurry, Texas.
How long do you think you'd get away with a thing like that?
We wouldn't need to get away with it for long. Now, listen. Old Urique keeps more money than you ever saw in a safe in that house. And you could open it with a shoehorn once you're inside.
Mr. Thacker, I am
We
not...
go halves and we pull out of here. Now, I'll fix that side of it. You won't have to worry about a thing. I've had it set up for a long time, just waiting. What do you say, Texas?
Be nice meeting you, Mr. Thacker.
Maybe I should tell you something else. The chief of police in Buenos Aires is a friend of mine who likes illegal immigrants about as much as you'd like rotting in a rat-infested jail. What do you say, Texas? Perfect. The eagle's blended in so you'd think you were born with it.
About time. 2 weeks shut up in this room's about as much as I can take.
We've needed every hour of it. Well, senor, do we strike?
Are you asking me or telling me, Mr. Thacker?
Stage 2, Don Francisco. A masterpiece. Now pay attention. El Señor Don Santos Urique La Casablanca. Dear Señor Urique, I am writing rather than telephoning you because it occurs to me that you may wish to keep this matter secret from your wife until you have investigated it yourself. Senor, in my house there is a young man who arrived in Buenos Aires from the United States some little time ago. Without wishing to excite any hope that may not be realized, I feel it may be well for you to call here and see him. My private opinion is that this man may possibly be your son, though he has not as yet claimed to be. I advise you to come quickly, since I suspect that he is planning soon to return to the United States. Yours respectfully. And
now?
Now I send this by hand by a muchacho.
And then?
And then, my dear Don Francisco, we wait. One hour. That's top speed for Buenos Aires. Better and better. The senora, too.
The senora?
The mother. I hoped we'd draw her by not seeming too anxious.
Let me see them.
A pair of proper aristocrats, aren't they? We're halfway home. She'll want to believe you, Texas, and she'll help dissuade Don Santos. You wait and see.
She's in mourning. Heavy veil and the lot.
That's for you, amigo. Anyway, for the young Don Francisco.
After 12 years?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. The kid was her life. She's never stopped mourning that kid or believing that he'll come back.
Thacker, I
Texas, you do a good job over the next 10 minutes and we're on our way. She'll believe you because she wants to. Make it good, boy. Forgive me for being unprepared for you, Senora. I had not expected the pleasure so soon.
This one. Are you my son?
Am I, Senora?
Please, look at me.
If I can.
Oh, Santos.
Wait, Christina. Young man, do you claim to be what we wish so much to believe you to be?
That must be for you to say, Senor.
I warned you, Senor. He's afraid he isn't welcome.
Not welcome? Santos, the mark. Examine his left hand.
Show me your hand, please.
Santos, see? It is he. It is Francisco.
Oh, tattoos can be copied.
No. Santos, even before I saw it, I knew it for certain. This boy, he is my son.
Francisco, you ride like a caballero.
Like a cowpuncher. The one thing I learned to do well in Texas.
Francisco, there is much you must tell me about the lost years.
You aren't sure of me, Padre.
See, I am sure.
No, you aren't. Not really.
12 years is a long time.
And there's no way of ever being sure.
Francisco, why when we first came to you at the house of Senor Thacker, did you not claim to be our son?
I don't know.
You could not look in your mother's eyes.
No, I couldn't.
Why couldn't you?
Maybe the look in them wasn't easy to take, if you might have put it there.
See, that was not the act of an impostor. An impostor would be bold and seek to convince.
I wouldn't know, Padre.
She wished it so much. And I too. I wish it now more than ever. You tell the truth? You are my son?
Si, Padre. I am your son.
But you must stand still, Francisco, or the tailor will never get the coat to sit well.
I never got much practice at this out on the range.
Oh, you look splendid. Does he not, Ferdinand?
Don Francisco looks what he is, senora. A grandee.
You see, my son, blood will out.
$1,000 worth of fancy clothes kind of help things along, Madre.
I do not understand this, my son.
Well, I'll try it in Castilian.
See?
Your pardon, senora. A message for Don Francisco.
Me?
Si.
Thanks. Thacker.
Something is wrong, Francisco?
No. Nothing's wrong. No, Madre. Senor Thacker wants to see me.
So?
To have a drink with me.
It is true. I do not greatly admire Senor Thacker, Francisco.
I'm not crazy about him myself, Madre.
Yet we owe Senor Thacker a great debt of gratitude. To be sure, you must accept his invitation, Francisco.
I can't see any way of getting out of it, Madre.
Then go then, my son. But come back soon.
You can bet on it.
Well, my young caballero. How's tricks?
Buenas noches, senor.
Time you were coming across, Texas. Now, what's the trouble? Don't you get your filial eyes on anything that looks like cash in the Casablanca?
Why, sure. I'm no judge of collateral in bunches, but I've seen the rise of $100,000 in that tin chow box my adopted father called
Well, what
safe.
are we waiting for?
The deal is off, Thacker.
Grow up, Texas. I can upset your apple cart any time I want to. And I think I'm going to want to.
I said the deal is off.
You don't know this country, Texas. The laws here have got mustard spread between them. One word out of me and these people will stretch you out like a frog that's been stepped on. And they'll feed what's left of you to the alligators.
Well, that's a chance I'll have to take, and I'll tell you why.
No, you see
I said
here.
I'll tell you why, Thacker. The fact is, I haven't had much truck with women, and no mothers to speak of. But Senora Don Santos Urique, there is a lady we have got to keep fooled.
Well, come to the point, Texas.
She took it once. Twice she won't. Now get this, Thacker. I'm not much. I never was. And maybe the devil sent me down this trail. But right or wrong, now I'm on it. I'll travel it to the finish.
So you've had a change of heart, huh? Okay, Texas, I'm blowing the whistle on you. I told you the chief of police was a pal of mine.
Thacker, the president of the republic couldn't protect you if this town found out who shoved this tattoo on the back of my left hand.
No. What did you say?
Like you just said. The laws here, Thacker, have got mustard spread between them. These people, they'll stretch you out like a frog that's been stepped on. And what's left, they'll feed to the alligators.
So you got a sense of humor, have you?
All the time, Thacker. All the time.
Let me go.
Now you listen and listen good, Thacker.
You're choking me.
I never did tell you, did I, why I came here?
Let me go.
I came here because I killed someone, Thacker. I killed a man. If I leave here, it'll be for the same reason. In fact, you will be the reason.
Killed a man?
It was self-defense the first time. Only I'd have my work cut out proving it. So if I killed you, I'd have nothing to lose, would I, Thacker? And I'd stamp you out without losing any sleep to keep that mother of mine happy. I'd kill you, Thacker. I'd tread on you like you were a scorpion, which you are.
Please, I won't talk. Honest, I won't.
Okay, now we understand each other.
How about a drink, Don Francisco? What I mean is, there's no reason we can't be friends, is there? No hard feelings, Don Francisco.
They've sent the car down to fetch me. I'll be getting back home, Thacker.
Don Francisco, you know something? That name fits you like a sock. Okay, no hard feelings. I know when I'm licked. Only, you think you can get away with this?
I reckon so.
What makes you so sure you can pull it off? What if their real son turns up sometime?
Something else I never told you, Thacker.
Yeah? Like what?
That fellow I killed in Laredo. He had the same tattoo on the back of his left hand.
The world of O'Henry was a fascinating forum in which the poor and the wealthy, the sad and the gay rubbed shoulders in the most diverting fashion. Each had a story to tell. This was one of them, brought to you in the O'Henry Playhouse. This was an Artransa production, dramatized by Kay Keaveny and produced by Jim Bradley.
Genius is a flower of great rarity that grows in the most unlikely places. Recognition of genius is an accolade that usually becomes a posthumous award. Certainly, this is true of the man called simply O'Henry, master of the tale with a twist, and one of the greatest storytellers of all time. The O'Henry Playhouse, dramatizing some of the most diverting stories ever told.
In the populous, magical world of O'Henry, there are no blacks and whites, only shades of something very much warmer than grey. Criminals he knew as men, as fellow prisoners, in fact. Some innocent, most guilty, all clothed in flesh and blood. For O'Henry, a study in pure evil was a rarity, which makes the story very rare indeed. He called it, enigmatically, The Marionettes.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Really, I do believe you're the only one in the world who truly understands me.
Well, then, you must do exactly as I tell you, mustn't you, Mrs. Barlow?
Oh, I shall. Truly I shall.
Splendid, and not merely in the medical sense.
The medical sense?
Take my advice and keep those magnificent jewels of yours in a properly constructed and efficient safe.
Hmm? Oh, I shall. In fact, I make inquiries about the best possible safe tomorrow.
Splendid. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Oh, have I been here so long? How wicked of me.
Oh, not at all. But I'm afraid I still have one patient waiting, so if I may be excused.
But of course, dear Dr. Boyd. You have been too kind. Just too kind.
Oh, thank heavens that's over. Nurse, it's getting late. You needn't stay any longer this evening. Just send in the next patient and then get along home.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Are you sure?
No, I can manage now. Just send Mr. Vanetti in. Her name is Barlow, Vanetti. Mrs. Barlow.
Miss, no matter. These women are all fools. We will do the job before she changes the safe, yes?
No. After.
After? But surely...
She'll certainly let me know, at considerable length, which brand she chooses and why, and where it's located, which will save us both considerable effort.
You are right. As always, Doctor.
I'd be obliged if you'd remove the implied inverted commas from around my title, Vanetti.
Oh, but my dear Doctor, I well know that you are qualified, at least under your real name. But you are also disbarred under your real name, is it not so?
An act of sheer stupidity and injustice. It was never proved that I was an associate of criminals.
Oh, come. Both you and I, being associated, are the associates of criminals, are we not?
My secondary profession never affected my function as an extremely able doctor, nor does it do so now. I make it a rule to give my full attention to whichever profession I'm engaged in at a given moment.
And hence your success at both. What a man you are.
Thank you, Vanetti.
A pity that you've been forced to move about such a lot these past few years.
I have no intentions of moving from my present practice. And if we continue to be discreet, efficient, and mutually loyal, Vanetti...
Oh, but of course.
I see no reason why difficulties should ever arise. And now, tonight's coup.
Ah, yes.
What I think we should do is this. 896, 97, roughly 6,000. A little disappointing for the takings of a biggish store.
I won't quarrel with it for an hour or two's work. Give me my share and we will separate at once.
Here. Roughly 2,000.
Thank you, Boyd.
And mine, roughly 3.
If your patients could see what your immaculate bag contains, the jemmies and the drills, side by side with the hypodermic and the takings. 3,000 in crisp notes.
Yes. Well, I shall leave first. Give me a moment before you follow.
Of course. Arrivederci, until I hear from you.
I shall call you, not my office next time. Now, a count of 100, please, before you follow me.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night. Be careful as you leave. Everything's gone splendidly so far. We don't want any trouble now.
Hey, you there.
Yes?
Well, just one moment, if you don't mind.
Oh, by all means, Constable.
Pretty late to be out walking, isn't it, sir?
Yes, quite so, Constable. Late hours are one thing both our professions have in common. My card.
Oh, doctor, are you, sir?
I was called to a casual patient whose house I had trouble finding. I'm just walking back to where I left my car.
Dr. James Calvin Boyd. Well, I'm sorry to have troubled you, sir. Orders are to be extra careful. Been a lot of burglaries around here.
No need to apologize, Constable. I must say it's very reassuring from a householder's point of view.
Now, don't you worry, Miss Helen. I'll find one, I promise I
I
will.
wonder what that's all about. Can I help you, Mum?
Oh, Constable, we're in such trouble. We need a doctor and our telephone's been... Well, I mean, it isn't working.
Oh, doctor, eh? Well, now, it just so happens this gentleman's...
This gentleman's a doctor? Oh, thank goodness. It's almost a miracle. Well, that is, if you are a doctor, sir.
Oh, yes, I'm a doctor. Can I, be of some assistance?
Oh, thank you, sir. It's Mr. Chandler.
Mr. Chandler?
Miss Helen's husband. He's lying like he was dead, sir.
Well, if you'll excuse us, officer.
Yes, a bit of luck, wasn't it, sir? You been here and all?
Yes. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Now, tell me what's happened to your master.
Well, he'd been out, sir. Came in late, just a while ago. Been drinking, same as always. You can smell it, you know.
Open the front door, Nanny, and tell me what happened to the patient.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Well, so far as I could see, sir, he just fell down, clutching at his heart, so to speak, just a while ago. Up these stairs, sir.
Oh, yes. Clutching at his heart, eh? How old is he?
Oh, he wouldn't be more than 30, sir. And Miss Helen, she's no more than 21. Oh, he's handsome, I'll not deny that.
All right, Nanny. Just point out the room to me and wait till I call you.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I never spoke a word against him before, but tonight, well, it was just too much, so to speak.
Nanny, is that you?
Yes, my lamb, and I've brought you a doctor.
So quickly. Oh, I'm so grateful, Doctor. Please, this way.
Is the patient in bed, Mrs.
Chandler, he fell across the bed. I'm so afraid. He's lying so still. Well, I took off his shoes, but... Is he dead, Doctor?
If you'll just wait outside, Mrs. Chandler. You're a little upset.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
No, not at all. I must have perfect quiet, you understand?
Yes, of course.
I'll call you in a moment. Mitral regurgitation. Mitral insufficiency. Mrs. Chandler,
Yes, Doctor.
is your husband subject to heart attacks?
Before we were married, about 2 years ago, I believe there was an attack. Perhaps more than one.
Go on, Mrs. Chandler.
Well, he was told to live quietly, but he enjoyed... Doctor, is he still alive?
He's alive, but there's a pronounced mitral insufficiency. And I'm afraid you must prepare yourself for the worst.
Oh, no.
I'll do all I can. The situation is never hopeless.
Please, please don't let him die in bitterness and hate.
Nurse. Nanny.
I'm sorry. He said awful things that he doesn't mean. I know he doesn't.
Miss Helen.
He isn't all bad. He isn't.
There, lean on me, my lamb.
Get her to bed. She's obviously near collapse. I'll come to her as soon as I can.
Oh, thank you. And bless you, Doctor. Bless you. Come along, my lamb.
She's exhausted.
Who wouldn't be?
Well, I've given her a sedative. When she wakes, give her a toddy with an egg in it. She looks to me as if she needs a good solid meal.
That she does, sir.
How did she get that bruise on her forehead?
She fell, sir. No, she didn't. I'm not going to lie for him. He did it, sir. He hit her. And then the good Lord struck him down.
It's a very sad face for so young and beautiful a girl.
Oh, Doctor, if I could only tell you.
If there's any change in her condition, call me at once.
Oh, I shall, sir. I shall.
I'll be with your master. Mr. Chandler, I know you're conscious, but don't try to speak.
Doctor.
Yes, I'm a doctor. Your wife sent me to look after you.
Closer. Come closer.
I'm listening. But I must warn you, the effect, the effort of talking could...
The money.
Money?
20,000.
There's something you want to tell me about a sum of 20,000 pounds?
Tell her.
Your wife?
Tell.
Where is this money you wish me to tell your wife about, Mr. Chandler? Is it in the bank?
It's her money.
The 20,000 pounds is your wife's money? And you want me to tell her where it is? Is that it? Is it that you put it somewhere difficult to find? In this room, Mr. Chandler? Yes, I think in this room. Now, if you can tell me where... Mr. Chandler. Unconscious. There isn't much time. Annie!
Yes, sir?
Come here, please. Mrs. Chandler will sleep for some hours unless she's disturbed.
The master, sir.
No, he isn't. Tell me, is there anyone else in this house?
No, sir. Just him and Miss Helen and me.
And me?
Oh, yes, sir. Praise be for that.
Unfortunately, I haven't the medicine with me that I need. I want you to take this prescription and have it filled.
But, sir, the chemists, they're nearly all closed.
Then you must try to find one that's open. And hurry, Nanny.
I don't like to leave Miss Helen, sir.
Your mistress will be perfectly all right, I told you. She'll sleep for hours.
But, sir...
Come, be off with you. I must have that prescription made up. Now be quick, Nanny. There's not a minute to spare.
I'll be as quick as ever I can, Doctor.
Get a taxi if you have to.
Mr. Chandler. Mr. Chandler. Quite unconscious. Now, the syringe.
Less than 2 hours before, with the same syringe and the same faint yellowish liquid which the doctor now carefully measures, he had destroyed with one dull explosion the lock of a safe. He proposes now with the same means to shatter the prime machinery of a human being for the sake of the money to follow. Same means, but in a different guise. For the nitroglycerine he now dilutes into a solution of glonoine, producing the most powerful heart stimulant known to medical science. First, a quick increase of vitality, a powerful impetus to every faculty. But, as the disbarred doctor knows, overstimulation in this form of heart disease means death, as sure as by a gunshot. This easy, skillful injection into the heart muscles is murder.
Well, Mr. Chandler, feeling better now?
Who are you?
We met a little while ago, Mr. Chandler. I'm a doctor. Your wife sent for me.
My wife? Where is my wife?
She's asleep. I'm afraid she's worn out by exhaustion and worry. I'd rather not wake her unless you insist.
No, it isn't necessary. She wouldn't thank you to disturb her on my account.
You mustn't tax your strength, Mr. Chandler.
Why not? Aren't I going to die?
You mustn't give up hope either.
Not a bad bedside manner, Doctor.
Mr. Chandler, I repeat, you must save your energy and your breath. And if something is worrying you, I hope you'll let me help you relieve your mind.
What should be worrying me, Doctor?
A little while ago, you were trying very hard to tell me something. It was something about a sum of money.
I said something about money?
Your wife's money, I think you said.
What else did I say before I lost consciousness?
Not very much. Now, please, don't tire yourself, Mr. Chandler. If you're worried about the safety of this money, as you seem to be, perhaps I can help to relieve your mind.
Did I say where this money is, Doctor?
Oh, no. You merely asked me to tell your wife about it. £20,000, I believe it was. Would that be correct?
20,000.
If the money is in this room.
Yes, Doctor.
I don't want to force your confidence unless you wish to give it, Mr. Chandler.
Naturally. Where else should the money be but in the safe? There.
There? Oh, of course. Behind the picture.
Yes.
Behind the picture, eh?
I see you're going to check, Doctor.
Yes, I'm going to check. Well, what is this? The safe's empty. It's empty. Where's the money, Chandler?
It's safe. Perfectly safe.
Where is it?
In the hands of the bookmakers. I've lost it all, Doctor. That's what I wanted you to tell her.
I see.
I've been a pretty bad boy. But compared with you, I've been a gambler, a drunk, most things. But a doctor burglar, that's something new.
Look at me, Chandler. Look at me and listen.
What?
I, too, have been and done most things. But I never yet hit a woman.
Doctor!
Come in.
Oh, I got it, Doctor. The medicine
It's too late. Your master's dead.
Oh. Well, he's in God's hands now. God will judge the transgressor.
I'll write you a certificate, and then I must be getting along. You can call me tomorrow.
That poor lamb. What's to become of her?
Do I understand that Mrs. Chandler has no money?
Money? She's half-starved, sir. That's why she's so weak.
But this house...
Rented, sir, with everything in it. The phone cut off and notice to quit. And all the debts. Oh, I could tell you, sir. But you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, sir, should you? He went through everything. Everything she had. And then there was an inheritance, sir. £20,000. He got that out of her, too, by a trick. She wanted to believe him, sir. Believe he loved her and would become a man for her. He disappeared, sir, for 6 months. And tonight he came back.
Is there any brandy in the house?
Yes, a little. He brought it.
Now do as I tell you. Prepare a toddy. Wake your mistress and have her drink it. When she's strong enough, tell her what happened in your own way. And then I'll talk to her.
Yes, sir, I'll do that, sir. Oh, you're good, Doctor. You're so good.
Be quick. Do exactly what I've told you.
There now, drink it up, my lamb.
Rob's dead. I feel nothing. I don't feel anything.
And why should you feel anything?
Oh, it's terrible not to feel, Nanny. It's terrible to feel nothing. Not even grief.
Miss Helen.
Oh, who's that? Nanny, what time is it?
It's nearly day, Miss Helen. Now, don't you worry. I'll see to it. You rest now. I'll see to everything. You just rest, my lamb. Oh, Doctor. You startled me. You've got your case. Are you leaving, sir?
Someone's at the front door.
Yes, I know. I'll go, sir. Perhaps it's the constable, sir, come to see if everything's all right.
Constable? Oh, the one who spoke to me outside.
He spoke to me again when I was coming back with the medicine, sir. Very kind he was. Oh, it is. It's the constable, sir. The master's dead. It was too late. The doctor's done everything he can.
Is the doctor still here?
Yes, actually, I'm just leaving, Mr.
Detective Inspector Bridges, Scotland Yard, sir.
Scotland Yard?
All right, Constable, I'll take over now.
Scotland Yard? Whatever next?
I'd advise you to come quietly, sir. We've got the back of the house covered, too.
I don't understand. Obviously, there's some mistake, Inspector. I'm Dr. Boyd. Here. My card.
You can forget all about that, Doctor. Vanetti was arrested leaving the store.
I assure you I haven't the least idea what you're talking about, Inspector.
He got pretty talkative just a while ago. Fortunately, we've located you quickly through the constable.
Look, there's obviously some tiresome mistake here, Inspector. It's been a long day, and an even longer night. Now, if you let me pass...
It's a disgrace, that's what it is. If you policemen knew what the doctor's done tonight for them in this house...
Yes, we'll be looking into what the doctor's done in this house tonight. Now, if you don't mind, sir.
You can't be serious, Inspector. I mean, the whole thing's fantastic.
Oh, I'm serious, sir.
Oh, Doctor.
Miss Helen. Don't you dare say a word about all this to Miss Helen, Inspector.
Oh, Doctor, before you go,
Yes, Mrs. Chandler.
I don't know how to thank you for all... Who are all these people?
Well, these gentlemen are friends of mine, Mrs. Chandler. And the constable looked in to see if he could help.
Oh, I see. How kind.
I'm so pleased to have a chance to speak to you before I go, Mrs. Chandler. Your husband left a message with me for you.
A message?
Yes. He sent you his love and asked for your forgiveness.
Oh.
His last thoughts were of you. I felt you'd like to know that.
Thank you, Doctor.
Most of all, he seemed to regret squandering your last inheritance. Everything with the exception of £3,000, which he told me you'd find in the safe in the bedroom. Oh, he gave me the combination and asked me to be quite sure you got the money safely.
Rob.
The combination is set on 41. Can you remember that, Mrs. Chandler? 41. Turn several times to the right and then once to the left. He was sorry there was so little to leave there, but hoped that it would at least clear your debts and give you some sort of a fresh start.
I can feel again. I can feel again.
There, poor lamb.
I was right about him, Nanny.
Yes, my lamb, you were right.
Oh, Doctor. Doctor, how can I ever thank you?
Don't even try. Now, if you'll forgive me, I must go along with my friends here.
The world of O'Henry was a fascinating forum in which the poor and the wealthy, the sad and the gay rubbed shoulders in the most diverting fashion. Each had a story to tell. This was one of them, brought to you in the O'Henry Playhouse. This was an Artransa production, dramatized by Kay Keaveny and produced by Jim Bradley.